Behind the Scene with David Badin, Holocaust Remembrance Day in Israel, how it's observed. At the moment I'm speaking, the streets are quiet. No restaurant is open, no movie theater is open, not even a restaurant is open. Everything is solemn, everything is quiet. And the Tel Aviv University, to add to the atmosphere, issued an annual report today about anti-Semitism around the world. It was an important report, but the most important thing from my point of view as a journalist is what it neglected to say. They surveyed every country, but they forgot to mention the Palestinian Authority, the nation Palestinian Authority, and its anti-Semitism, which is inherent to every aspect of the PA. Now, this is because the PA is being promoted by the government of Israel and by the establishment of Israel as a peace partner. Now, when you have a peace partner which is promoting something other than peace, it doesn't jive. So I sent a letter to the spokesperson towards this program now, towards the spokesperson of Tel Aviv University. Why didn't you report what's happening in terms of anti-Semitism in the Palestinian Authority? You report it everywhere else in the world, but not there. We're talking about 5 million people, 5 million Arabs. Some of them are in Judea, Samaria. Some of them are in Gaza. What's happening? And as people who follow our work, and I write with the Israel Resource News Agency and the Badin Center for Near East Policy Research, and you see the work that we do, where we talk about the anti-Semitism, which is inherent to this new entity called the Palestinian Authority. So I asked them, why didn't you report it? And the answer I got was a very funny answer. We didn't deal with that part of the world this time. Well, that's kind of strange because they did. But look at the things that they neglected. And I want to be very clear about something. When I go abroad and speak about anti-Semitism here, people say, well, what do the people of Israel say about it? I say very often that they do not know. People in Israel know that there's something rotten in Denmark, but they don't know what it is. They don't know, they can't put their finger on what's going on here. The school books, which our agency has examined, we examined more than 1,000 school books of the Palestinian Authority since it began. They began putting out their own books on August 1st, 2000. And we have Dr. Arnon Gross and a team of experts going through there. And the entire theme, there's not one school book for peace or reconciliation. These new school books talk about total war, preparing and indoctrinating the next generation for total war against the Jews. And then you have the ethnic cleansing idea promoted from the very top of the Palestinian Authority, from Mahmoud Abbas, very proud of the fact that his future Palestinian state will not have any Jews. Now, our agency got a hold of the Palestinian state constitution from the Vatican in 2003, because the Pope John Paul II made it very clear that he wanted to eradicate anti-Semitism wherever he could. And he asked his representative here in Jerusalem, Archbishop Pietro Sambi, to look to see if there was. So Archbishop Sambi gave me and a few journalists the report of the Palestinian State Constitution. We commissioned a translation into English and a translation into Hebrew, and published it in the Hebrew newspaper known as Makor Rishon. And there it's the vision of an Islamic state, a strict Islamic state with no Jews. If that's not anti-Semitism, what is? But then there's other aspects of anti-Semitism which are even worse. The new Palestinian Authority textbooks, not only textbooks, but law books, show on the record that anyone who murders a Jew, on the record and by law, receives a salary for life. And if the murderer dies in the process, his family receives a salary for life. If that's not anti-Semitism, what is? Violence in the Palestinian Authority has been viewed as a value. But this is kept from the Israeli people. There's no academic institution today that's well known, that examines the Palestinian Authority for people to know about, to see. And today was just another example. In the past, this yearly report produced by Tel Aviv University, financed through the European Jewish Congress. The European Jewish Congress had always downplayed the Palestinian Authority. This time it didn't exist. And that's the problem we face. People in Israel are kept in the dark, even though it's a small country. There's 5 million Arabs. Actually, if you count the Israeli Arabs, you've got about 7 million Arabs and about 7 million Jews, about equal. But We don't know what's happening over there. And it's kept from the people in all aspects of the media, so people do not know. One of the themes that I've used over the years is let my people know. People do not know. And today, as Israel copes with the trauma of the mass murder of Jews in World War II, we now see how much Israel didn't know then, and doesn't know today about the anti-Semitism and the viciousness of the anti-Semitism, the systematic nature of the anti-Semitism as it's being promulgated. That's what we have to cope with. If you look at our website, IsraelBehindTheNews.com, on April 28th, 2022, you will see the report we have of the what happened with the Tel Aviv University report, how it just delineated, deleted any mention of the Palestinian Authority. And you'll also see our other reports, which very, very clearly articulate what's going on in 34 years of news coverage that yours truly has provided to the public. This is the stark reality that we face. No mention of peace, no mention of reconciliation. Every mention possible of murdering Jews as a value. This is the focus of the Palestinian Authority, and this is what is being obfuscated, hidden from the people of Israel. This is David Bedin reporting, behind the scene with David Bedin, and you'll see my website here, our website. Please log on to it, and we're trying to get to 12 languages. By the way, that needs funding, and you'll see where you can donate. We only work with private contributions, by private donations. People must know what's going on here. It's a mystery. There's no reason why it has to be hidden. Let my people know on this auspicious day, Holocaust Remembrance Day. This is David Bedin reporting, behind the scene with David Bedin. Thank you.